We're back, my dudes. Let's run it.
1, 2, 3, hit it!
So, you heard it. Now let's run over it. Alright, so, first things first. Our first escalator is running at a sine wave. Our second escalator is running as a basic shapes square wave. Now, you're going to see there's a lot of routing here, and there's quite a bit of stuff going on in the matrix with the routing. But let's just kind of start off with just the basis here of what just oscillator 1 sounds like. Really nothing. Then we add oscillator 2 or oscillator B. Then our filter. So I have it barely moving here, but what I did is I just kind of shaped LFO2 to change the filter. And then I used LFO1 to shape the level of oscillator 1. So let's see. So in the matrix on LFO2, I made the filter cutoff go up by 1. So it's really not doing much of anything, but it gives it that really nice vocally kind of sounding flange effect. I don't know if I said phaser, but it is a flanger. And then let's see where we put these FMs at. So 48% from B and 44% from the sub, which on the sub we're using a sine, -2 on the oscillator there, and level all the way down, of course, on that. But then that's routed to the square, which is then routed back to the sine, and then routed through the filter. So it gives it like a really, really nice, crisp feel. So you kind of get the gist of that. Let's also make sure. Yes, I also put a macro on the filter cutoff because I wanted to make sure I really dialed in where I wanted it to sit and really get those formants bumping, my dudes. So we put this on the filter cutoff for 18, and we have it up 17% on macro 1. And then another thing with our macros is I used macro 3 to change pitch. You can see here in the matrix, I used it for the filter cutoff of the flange filter. That way it kind of goes up with the pitch when the pitch goes up. And then the master tune, which is of course going to be the pitch. Then of course again the FX filter frequency, which is on the filter in the effects chain under combs on the filter right here. And I think what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm just going to put this patch in the description because it's a lot to go over and really explain. And I'll also include the post-processing chain as well, which firstly, you gotta pipe it up, my dudes. Then a little bit OTT, turned off the low end, and then a little bit of EQ, cut out those low ends, not too harsh, and then really bumped up the mids because it just sounded like it was too tinny, too high up in the register, and it just didn't have enough body. So added some body to it, and then gotta fatten up the old saturator. Sometimes I do like to add on my serums. I like to add a simple delay. Let me show you real quick. And then I link them, and I use time, and I put the dry wet all the way up. Feedback between 40 and 60, depending on how long you want it to last. And that's how you can get some really nice, like really wonked out little Riddim noises. So nice little tips and tricks, my dudes. But I like to put it about roughly between 23 and 27 milliseconds because it gives it some nice performance. You can barely hear it, but it adds a nice little body to it. And I don't know what I am talking about. So I hope you guys like this sound, and hit that subscribe button, like if you haven't already, and leave a comment below on what you think the next video should be. I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.